1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Another way of checking. Train and spin. Start. Press start. Alright guys, unit is still plugged in, so be mindful. And while you're down here, you're looking for anything that is out of place. For one, it's the ground wire. It's not the end of the world, but you want to look for anything that is not connected. And we need to deal with that. So this is the motor control, or MCU, and whenever your washer is not draining, well, let's put it this way, it's not spinning, so the drum is not turning, you want to concentrate on making sure your belt and your motor. But first thing you want to check is this. Sometimes the board sends power down here. I did hear the click up top, and in fact the code, this was just confirming. Now don't mind that, but if you do have that in your washer, you want to be careful, because that's a sign that your bearings is going. This washer, the bearings, all that stuff, in fact I worked on this machine years ago, and we changed the entire tub assembly. In fact, I think I do have a video on it. So the previous tub was leaking, and this is a new tub, so all is well with that. Don't mind that. But if you do have that and you haven't changed it, then yes, be very mindful. We're going to pull this out and take a look at it, but before you do, unplug the unit. And sometimes if you're lucky, you could actually look at the back of them, and you could actually see the telltale signs of burnt or markings. Like right there, you see that up top. Sometimes those things pop through because they get so hot and they melt. So, and you lift this tab and you just pull it out. So unplugged all the wires, but first disconnect power so you don't zap yourself. So unplug all the wires, and then we can pull this out. Alright, so I like to take the MCU out this way so that you leave all your cables intact and everything stays. And then when you get the new one, you just pop it in instead of changing the entire housing. So we're going to take this out and we're going to examine it, and we're looking for anything that's burnt or damaged in any way, shape, or form. So taking a look at this, it looks perfectly good. Nothing is burnt, nothing is damaged. So, but you can't always assume because it looks good that everything is good. It could actually have a damaged component. Try it, for example, where it's just not signaling. So I've repaired boards before. MCUs, I'll be honest, are a little tricky. Kill my fan. Kick the fan. Okay. Did you by any chance open this cover?
Nope.
Okay. So I want to check it. If you have a small bucket, because you might actually have a bunch of stuff in there. Shouldn't be too bad, but just in case. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah. Hopefully it's not too... Alright, another sign that your MCU is not communicating with the main board is your door lock stays locked. So we're going to watch it and we're going to tap this. Slight tap, nothing crazy. So we're wrapping up here. We're plugging in back our main wires, and also that blue wire, like I mentioned, be mindful of that. So we're plugging back in, and we're pretty much going to check the MCU again just to double verify. You'll see shortly. And while you're at it, always double check your wires just to make sure that nothing is, have rubbed on or got damaged. I've seen it. So sometimes one wire can cause you to have a bad connection, and it doesn't matter all the parts you put out on it, it's not going to fix the issue. So just be mindful of that. Just take your time and check everything. And once you're done, then you know for sure that the component that is at fault is actually at fault. Alright, so we're powering on. We're going to go to drain and spin, and pretty much what you're looking for when you're checking in case you can't get it into diagnostic. We're looking for drum rotation. The MCU is responsible for rotational movement. So motor control, it moves the motor, and we're not getting a movement. We are getting voltage to it from the main board, and so we have to say, well, if we're getting a signal, then we know the MCU is not responding. Now you notice we're starting off at 13 up top, and as we continue, you'll notice that it drops down and it continues to drop. So that tells you that the board is doing its job, but the MCU is not. No drum rotation is a clear sign. And you also notice the lid or the door latch is locked, but we're not getting any drum movement. Now sometimes you can tap the main board. I've seen that. You just do a little slap with a screwdriver handle, and sometimes it's a communication issue between the two, and if you notice that it kicks on, then you know you have the issue at the main board. If you're not getting voltage going to the MCU from the main board, you will have a bad main board. So, and by the way, the text sheet is under the lower right corner if you need it, if it's there. Sometimes they're missing, so that might help, but MCU is for rotational purposes. Alright, enjoy the rest of the video, guys. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to check out some of my videos in Patreon. All the sequences are correct. Spin, door lock, countdown, everything is working, except that's not turning. That's bad.